that fresh air. Truly, this is a good place to play a song.
This must be that beautiful Skyrim weather I've always heard about. types of ruins. I think I see why now.
And here we all are. Shall we step inside? I can certainly share a bit of what I know. Anything at all that might be of interest. That's why I adore this location. We have no idea what we're going to find. And if along the way my message about the dangers of magic should happen to sink in for a few students, that would be a happy coincidence. We're particularly interested in the prevalence of magical seals placed on the tombs here. It's rather unlike anything we've encountered. All right. Please stay close to me while we're inside. It should be safe, but it's always better to be cautious.
I find it hard...
As some of you may know, Sarthor was one of the earliest Nord settlements.
I'm not so sure we should be
The
here.
largest.
Who knows what we might find in
Sacked
here?
by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Sarthor.
Wonder if any of my
This is an
ancestors
exciting
were on these
opportunity for
roads.
us to be... Well, are there any questions before we begin? Take care now.
I find it hard to believe this excavation was approved.
As some of you may know, Sarthor was one of the earliest...
Who knows what we might find in here?
Also the largest. Sacked by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Sarthor.
I wonder what the ancient Nords used this place for.
Who knows what we might find in here?
Sacked by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Sarthor. This is an exciting opportunity for us.
Everything in here seems to be about death. Burial urns, crypts, funeral shrouds. It's a bit depressing.
Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. Well, are there any questions before we begin? Ah, yes. Well, why don't you see if you can assist Arniel Gain? He's one of our scholars, here working on cataloging our finds. I expect he'd appreciate some help in locating any additional magical artifacts here in the ruins. Any enchanted items will do. The usefulness of the enchantment is irrelevant. If you find anything, the class can look it over. Now let's see. What should we have the rest of you do? Berlina, my dear, why don't you search for warding magics? Anything designed to keep people out. Don't interact with them, just identify them. Cesardo, what shall we have you do? Why don't you verify that we're the first ones here? Look for any amount of tampering with the tombs. All right, everyone. Let's be careful, but have fun.
not seeing signs of any warding magics at all. Either they're not here, or they were removed long ago. Watch what you're doing. I'm not seeing signs of any warding magics at all. Either they're not here, or they were removed long ago.
Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured.
So long ago. The first men in Tamriel. Here. I wonder if everyone else would be so happy to rifle through the bones of their ancestors.
Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. world was that racket? Is everything all right? How in the world did that happen? Really? Perhaps the amulet is important somehow. Is there some way you can use it?
Never knew a place could be so ancient. I bet it's over 1,000 years old.
Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. Well, would you look at that? This appears to lead somewhere. Let's see where it goes. Well, this is highly unusual and very interesting. Why in the world would this be sealed off? What is this place?
Make it quick. Hold, mage, and listen well. Know that you have set in motion a chain of events that cannot be stopped. Judgment has not been passed, as you had no way of knowing. Judgment will be passed on your actions to come, and how you deal with the dangers ahead of you. This warning is passed to you because the Psijic Order believes in you. You, mage, and you alone, have the potential to prevent disaster. Take great care, and know that the Order is watching.
I swear I felt something rather strange just then. What just happened? I'm afraid I didn't see anything. Can you tell me more about what you saw? The Psijic Order? Are you quite sure about that? That's very odd. And danger ahead? Why, that doesn't make any sense at all. The Psijics have no connection to these ruins, and no one's seen any of their order in a long time. Perhaps we should take a look inside these coffins. Now, please do be careful. Who knows what we're going to find? They were a group of mages with a history that predates the Empire. Very powerful, very secretive. No one's seen them in well over 100 years. They vanished, along with their sanctuary on the Isle of Artaeum. I have no idea what connection they'd have to this place. I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course. The Isle of Artaeum disappeared over 100 years ago, and no one has seen them since. And yet now, suddenly, they've chosen to contact you. Why, it's intriguing. If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Psijics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy. Take care now.
Where'd you...
This is simply fascinating. This is simply fascinating. this place be? Until next time. this place be? I have no idea. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Archmage needs to be informed immediately.
Everything in here
He
seems
needs
to
to see
be
this
about
for
death,
himself. I don't
burial,
dare leave this unattended.
crypts, funeral
Can you return
shrouds.
to the college and inform
It's a bit
Sabo
depressing.
Sarin of this discovery? Please, hurry. Be prepared to defend yourself. Oh, I think I'll be fine. We seem to have eliminated the most pressing threat. It certainly seems that whoever placed this here intended for it to be well guarded. I wonder why. Let him know that we've unearthed something, well, I'm not sure. Something unique, let's say. It's clearly magical in nature, but like nothing I've ever seen before. He should be most interested. Until next time.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary.
I have many important things on my mind. Your concerns are not among them.
You are relatively new here, are you not? I have noticed you, but we have not spoken. Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Savos Arin, Archmage of the College of Winterhold. I am quite content to see nearly any aspect of magic explored and investigated here. But I do not and will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college. Are we clear? Not often, no. Some risks must be taken, to be sure. I am simply trying to avoid untimely deaths. We also must make an effort to avoid worsening what Skyrim thinks of us. Purpose? I should think it's self-evident. Magic is a true power, not something to be shunned by commoners or treated as an amusing diversion by politicians. It shapes worlds, creates and destroys life. It deserves proper respect and study. The college is a place where we can focus on that, without the pressures of the world weighing down on us. I've seen documents dating back to the late Second Era. Beyond that, it's hard to say. Events in the last several hundred years resulted in a significant loss of our history, I'm afraid. Until next time. You look a bit peaked. You sure you shouldn't be home in bed? Please don't tell me that another one of the apprentices has been incinerated. I have enough to deal with right now. Very well. I trust that you wouldn't be here were it not significant. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Tolfdir normally looks after your little group, yes? Since he's apparently occupied, and I will need to see this discovery for myself, I think perhaps you should begin researching the subject. Speak with Urag in the Arcanium. See if he's aware of anything that matches your discovery. And good work. The next time you find yourself exploring Nordic ruins, perhaps this will be helpful. All right then. If you require assistance with summoning techniques, please let me know. If you would, please also contain your summons to the college grounds. The locals do not need to be agitated further by Atronachs roaming their town. The summoning of undead is even less advisable outside the college. I'll teach you some of what I know, but be careful. By sure no. Those archaic policies died out with the Mages Guild, and were never enforced here. Necromancy, as any other type of magic, is a tool to be used. Of course, non-mages may not see it that way, so we don't go around flaunting it. Not within society, no. Many who practice within the School of Conjuration do so on their own, secretly. Phalion is the only one I know who is public about what he does. He was once my teacher here, but left the college years ago. He didn't like the Archmage, hated dealing with him, hated having to answer to him. Phalion said he hated what this place was becoming, so he just left. Aron found a note on his desk, and that was it. I understand he settled down in Hjalmarch, and his presence there caused something of a problem. So you wish to master the arcane arts? Ah, that, yes. The group prior to yours has disappeared entirely. It's possible that there was less than the necessary amount of oversight. That's still being looked into. But we've had no contact with them for quite some time now. Arniel wondered if perhaps they'd somehow managed to get themselves lost in the Outer Realms, but I think that's giving them too much credit. I'm not sure. None of them were working on anything terribly dangerous. As I recall, Ysra was trying to improve flame cloak spells to better work in Skyrim's harsh environment. Elos Tai was practicing illusion spells. She was having trouble with the calm spells, I believe, but only ever worked with skeevers. And then there's Borvir and Rundi, twins, though they rarely agreed on anything. Those two boys were obsessed with mead, convinced they could concoct something to compete with Honningbrew. Something about using frost magic to chill the mead for a certain period of time. I felt it was a waste, but the Archmage let them proceed. All right then.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? I know what you want. Word travels fast around here. Discovered some big mystery, huh? Well, you don't even need to ask. No, I don't have anything for you. Not anymore, anyway. I said not anymore. Orthorn stole a number of books when he ran off to Felglow Keep to join those summoners. Some kind of peace offering. I think one of those volumes may have had some relevant information. If you want them, you'll have to talk to Orthorn. He was an apprentice here at the college. Not very skilled, but got involved with a group of mages who took a liking to him. When they left, he took off after them, stole supplies and books from the college, I suppose as a way to ingratiate himself. Not enough to bother with. Archmage Aaron's approach to these things is just to let them sort themselves out. Although now it looks like you'll be doing the sorting. Good luck with that. Let's just call it a difference of opinion with the college. They were interested in research that goes outside the bounds of what the college allows, so they were persuaded to leave. The most well-known stronghold is Dushnik Yal. Here, I'll mark it down for you. Assorted books, scrolls. I'm sure you'll find something useful. All right, then.
I think the college is due for a change in leadership.
Are you feeling sick?
You there. I have questions for you. You were in Sarthol, yes? It has come to my attention that something was found there. I am well aware. Tolfdir is still in Sarthol, is he? I shall be expecting a full report from him when he returns. It is my job to know these things. My role as advisor to the Archmage is aided by knowing everything that transpires here. Thank you for your help. You may go now.